has been a while since I've shown my apartment in Japan, and not much has changed. I got a few chairs, a table, and a few appliances, but I don't have a bed frame and I don't have a TV. Mainly because of the NHK, but that's another story. And as a person that works in Japan, and I'm always working, this is the story of whether or not Japanese minimalism really actually works to de-stress your life. And if you are somebody who wants to declutter your life or move to Japan and you're worried about minimalism, just watch this to the end. I have some insight that you're going to want to know and a lot of fun stories, so let's get to it. First of all, I've been kind of obsessed every time I come home from work with watching this YouTube channel called Midwestern Magic Cleaning. This channel is really interesting because it gives you snapshots into people's lives in a way that I don't think you can see anywhere else. So many apartment tours, house tours are curated. And this channel, you get to see the unfiltered, dirty, just regular normal house. And it's a snapshot into people's life habits, into what they do. And through watching so many of these videos, I have noticed a culture, a Midwestern culture, that's based off the buildings, how they're made, the things that are available to buy that people pick up and put in their houses, how people use their items. And especially the way that people decorate their houses is very, very similar in each episode. Now, not all Americans are like this. Not all people in the Midwest are like this. In fact, they're very clean Midwestern homes. However, there is a decorum issue that minimalism simply does not exist in. And that is having a space and filling it with something, whether it be on a countertop, whether it be just an empty wall with nothing there. It seems the decorum of the Midwest is to put something there. Whatever it is doesn't even matter. You just gotta fill it with something. And personally, in a place like this, in my apartment, there is absolutely no way that you can get through that to do that and be in a comfortable, wide space. So just as a personal story, when I was in America, I lived in a house with roommates who constantly, whenever they would finish a bottle of liquor, a bottle of anything that was made of glass, they would put it as decorum, as decoration on any empty space that was high up. So by the end of me staying there, we just had a fucking museum of bottles all over the walls, and they were dusty, they were gross. No matter what I do to beg people to stop doing that, it was a big problem. It was like my roommates loved to hoard these bottles. My minimalism journey, though, did not start with those bottles. It actually started when I turned 18 years old. This is some deep lore, some backstory, so buckle up. When I was 18 years old, I traveled to Japan. And I saw like traditional houses being just kind of clear of things, and that kind of inspired me. But when I was 19, I pretty much got rid of all my stuff and I lived out of a backpack, and I traveled and I walked like all across Europe, and I backpacked alone, solo. And in that time, when you're just kind of wandering, you realize the true value of your belongings, right? I lived with what I had. So the most basic things were my treasures, were the things that were essential to me, were the things that were useful to me. And I've always kept that backpacker mentality of like, only carry with you what you absolutely need and what you cannot find elsewhere. If you have a special item, it needs to be useful. If you want to get a souvenir, it needs to be small enough to pack it away or be useful. When I came to Japan, I was very excited for the minimalist life, for a small apartment. And to be honest, 30 square feet is actually quite a lot for me. But the real question is, does it relieve stress? Many people that come to Japan do not look forward to the smaller spaces. The good news is, though, is that you can find places that actually are quite big. And a lot of the things in Japan are smaller. And I'm a tall person. I'm very, very tall. That was like one of the things that I was worried about, is like things are going to be smaller. How am I going to fit? But in general, like my house, everything fits just fine. At my work, not so much. I am very cramped. Desks are very short and so are chairs. So I do turn into a shrimp at my job. But at home, I feel like being on the floor, being under a kotatsu, it helps. I don't know. But as for buying things, Japan is so full of small spaces that they have interior design that is made for small things. So everything comes in mini. And you'll learn very fast that you did not actually need that supersized thing from America. But I guess what I'm saying is that you don't have to fill your space with so much stuff that you don't have enough space. Small spaces are normal. They are not poor. They are not considered low quality. You can have luxury, high quality, tiny ass houses and apartments in Japan. Super small, super luxurious. And yeah, maybe a house will not have a, dishwasher or a built-in like disposal. But you can buy a dishwasher, even from like Second Street, like secondhand storage. You can buy portable dishwashers. And yeah, you just can't really, there's no disposable. But in a small place, you ask yourself, what is the functionality and what space am I giving up to put this item in that space? You think about where you're going to put something before you buy something. So for me, a lot of the times, the things that I want, I plan them out. I'm like, you know what? I want another towel. I can get rid of this towel. Or I want a kotatsu chair. Do I need it? Do I really need it? Am I going to use it? Turns out, yes, all the time, every day. I fall asleep on this thing. So even though I have money, even though I have the ability to get things, right now, the thing that I don't have a lot of is space. I have 30 square feet. So if I want to utilize that to its fullest, I cannot be filling it up with stuff. And I don't need to. That's the greatest part. Why do you have those things that you haven't used in months? If you got rid of half of the things in your house, would you even notice or care? The biggest factor in minimalist living is to fit form and functionality together. And I totally think that should be with your design choices as well. Whether it's a plant to get fresh air or whether it's a painting to remind you to be brave or laugh or whatever. These things do serve a function, even if it's a subconscious one. It can be very powerful. The biggest problem that you will run into with minimalism is clutter. As soon as something is out of place, it will be clutter. If you don't have a place for something, it will be clutter. And if you make a place for something, that might also look like clutter. For me, I have this big pantry and it looks pretty horrible when it's not being covered up. So I do tend to cover it up very often. But I know what is in there. And to me, it's not a big deal. I can just put that away. It's not really clutter if I cover it. And it's an organized mess, so I understand it. But something like next to me, that needs a shelf. There needs to be something over there to put those things in or to get rid of those things, And so, even though I don't have that much stuff to get rid of, getting rid of things is hard in Japan, as well as, like I said, as soon as you have one little thing on the floor out of place, it messes up the whole feng shui. And that's why a lot of like super minimalist, extreme minimalist, they have absolutely nothing because one little thing and it messes them up. And I do think that falls into the realm of like OCD. Yeah, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's good. It's just like having a house like full of clutter all the time. So for me, I'm kind of in between. I'm not like super minimalist, but I'm certainly not somebody who needs a lot of stuff. So minimalist lifestyle can also cause stress. The truth is you have to constantly be cleaning your house. You do not have to be cleaning it a lot. It doesn't take that much time, but it needs to be continuous. And I do think that living in Japan, living in this small place, I have learned to be continuous about my cleaning. I do not leave laundry out. I do not leave soap scum to just sit around. I clean it. Sometimes my kotatsu does look like there's a lot of stuff on it, but it's easy to just take everything off and put things where they need to be. There's a counter that I have that usually has stuff on it, but nothing belongs on it. except for maybe like my keys. And after work, this is where I spend most of my time. So I need it to be my sanctuary. I need it to be the place where I can relax and chill, and Chubbs can just like stare at me menacingly. And this is where I drop the nugget, where I tell you the truth. Is this minimalist lifestyle de-stressing me? No, it's not. While changing your environment can be extremely helpful to your stress levels, to your mental health. If you are struggling mentally and you have a bunch of clutter, yes, cleaning it will absolutely help you. But does it take away the actual problems that you may be facing in life? No, it absolutely does not. And I think that people get carried away with minimalism, where they think that your environment is the entirety of your stress life. And so you think that nothing should be in it, nothing at all. And the problem is you can have a house that is full of things to the brim or absolutely nothing in it, and you may still feel the exact same stress. For me, guys, the truth is that I have been depressed for almost maybe more than 10 months. And I know specifically like when it started, when it just really got away from me. But then things happened at work that were really devastating, detrimental, and just have changed the entire dynamic of my work situation. And I feel like I failed. I feel like there's nothing that I could do. There's nothing that I could have done, that I was just set up. But I wish that I was a better person that could just handle things better and not feel so strongly and so sensitively. But the hardest things really daily now is just fighting constantly with myself on the idea of depression. So to me, depression is really egocentric. You're constantly up your own butt about yourself. Like you're thinking that everyone hates you, but nobody probably gives a shit, right? And there's like a demon in my head that tells me that everything I touch is trash and I turn everything to shit and I can't do anything right. And I know logically my brain is like, this is crazy. Like, this is not even true. This is some bullshit. Like, you're not like that. Nobody cares. But I cannot stop the feeling. I just can't stop the feeling. And it's exhausting. And depression causes lack of sleep. And for the first time in my entire life, I have not been sleeping well. I have not been getting enough sleep. And so I'm constantly exhausted. And it's a vicious cycle because all my energy is spent trying to like just quell the constant barrage of hatred to myself. And then I just get so tired, and then I can't, and then when I get tired, the demon in my brain gets worse. And so, yeah, and it just sucks because I'm sure I've made a lot of mistakes. I know I have, but they're not so bad that I can't sleep at night. There are people that right now are like, and they're sleeping just fine. No, I think the worst crime I've done really is just being mega uber cringe, and like, and I understand that is a crime, a criminal offense, bombastic criminal offense, but here I am, still being cringe. That's just not going to change. But having this space, having this is really nice. It's really, really nice. And yeah, and I will say, I would not want to fill it with things, you know. It's already loud up here. You know what I mean? It's already loud. So I like it when it's just me and Chubbs, this fucking kotatsu, some pink blankets and this pink chair, and that's it. And us and this awesome YouTube channel. So I appreciate everybody that has been with me on this journey and who is getting into minimalism or coming to Japan, wants to declutter. Let's go. One of these days, I will, like, I don't know, do a video of me cleaning up my house, because obviously working full time, it does get dirty. So, yeah, who knows? Let me know what you want to see in the comments. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. As always, you guys are my favorite. I really, really like being a small, tiny, itty bitty micro creator is so great because each and every one of you just make my entire world so much brighter. So thank you so much. And I always want to hear what you have to say. So please leave a great comment. I love you so much. And Chubbs loves you too. Say it, Chubbs.
Subscribe or face the wrath.
Chubbs, say something nice.
Subscribe now or else.
All right, anyway. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.